from that cue to say that, you know, in an environment where there is less development money coming to a country, there are fewer donors, to be honest, and where we are also very much under pressure to always deliver results and to be very clear with what we're doing. Sometimes, to be honest, culture, an investment in culture isn't, you know, on the top of the sort of priority list for donors. It's just like that. For our part, though, I arrived here 3 years ago, and we'd been partnering with, as been said now a couple of times, with the Culture Fund for a number of years, and I think in roundabout figures invested about $1 million a year into the cultural sector. And we've seen tremendous things happening here, and I think most of you will associate culture in this country with Culture Fund, which is a great thing, and we're very proud of that investment. But we also came to that point where we needed to understand, perhaps to a better degree, how we can connect the dots, how we can say that investment in culture can also specifically be targeting development challenges and can really promote development, because that is where we're coming from, that's where I'm coming from. And we started that discussion some time back and had a very fruitful dialogue around it, where we said, look, we would love to invest in culture just to sort of promote the diversity of culture in this country, but we're limited to make sure that what we do can really have an impact and can speak to our overall objective, which is about poverty alleviation, which is about assisting the vulnerable, which is reaching out, and also changing norms and attitudes and perhaps even behaviors, so that, for instance, we limit the spread of gender-based violence or child marriage and things like that. And of course then it's not so difficult to understand that, as I think we've said, culture can be a really powerful tool in that fight against poverty and vulnerabilities and so forth. So that was the spirit. We started to sort of transform our relationship, and I'm really pleased that we today have come to this point where we'll sign the agreement for another 3 years for about $1.3 million. So we keep on investing into this sector because we do think it has a critical role to play. Because if you look at gender equality, it is all about changing your mindset. It's about understanding why you need to do that, and then ultimately make sure that there is actions taken to promote young girls, to promote women, and to absolutely eliminate all forms of abuse, sexual violence, child marriages, which is unfortunately quite prevalent in this country. 1 out of 3 young girls before they reach the age of 25 is abused one way or the other. That's horrible. It shouldn't be like that. And we all need to do what we can. And from our point of view, we think that the way that you will continue to work now with partners out in the country, you can make a dent and start raising awareness, making people think, understand through the power of art. So we're very pleased that this is happening. And you've done a lot already in this way. This isn't new to you. Maybe what is a little bit new is when we said to you, look, it may be a bit odd, but we also have a new area for our development cooperation in our new strategy that the ambassador mentioned, which is environment, climate, renewable energy. It's very, very high up on our government's agenda, as is gender equality. And we're looking for new partnerships, we're looking for new ideas, we're looking for ways to promote a more green society. Not only because it makes sense from a sort of a climate change perspective, or, you know, where people live, making sure that there are, you know, pure water, sanitation and so forth, but also because it provides opportunities. It provides opportunities for jobs, for employment, for business. But there is all the right reasons why we should invest more in greening our society. But there is also another link when we started to talk about this, and that is, of course, when there's a fight for resources, when there are droughts, sometimes induced by climate change. Who are hurt the most? Oh. Who are hurt the most? The women? The children? So that there is that link that we sometimes not often think about. If there's a scarcity of resources, who needs to walk the longest distance to get the clean water? That's the women. So that there is a link if we start to think about it, which is what the Culture Fund started to do, and then came up with ideas and proposals where there is that linkage. So we think and we hope that there is great days ahead of us in working with arts, with artists, with different forms of cultural expressions to promote development in these really two critical areas. And I'd like to say, and I'm pleased that you also brought it up, that we do want to see results. Of course we do. And we want to be able to track our investment. We need to know where the money is going. So the Culture Fund has also, over the years, been quite strong in advocating for transparency, for instance. That goes a long way in talking to things like corruption. We don't accept that. We don't accept that our money that comes from the taxpayer way back in Sweden is, deviated to any other way than where it's supposed to be. So we're putting a lot of pressure on Farai and his team, and as it happens, has an auditing firm inside the office. But we also are in a great partnership here because we know that the Culture Fund really appreciates this, and they will in turn also work with their partners to promote transparency and openness and accountability so that we all look after the money that is supposed to go to the most vulnerable out in Zimbabwe. So with that said, thank you for all the hard work in getting here and for all the hard work that lays ahead of us, but we will follow you all the way and we will enjoy taking part in all the activities that you will also promote under this partnership. So thanks Farai, and thank you all for coming. Thank you.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.